German officer took a bite of an apple. Meanwhile, the prisoner pulled out a hand grenade and played with it in his mouth. Seeing the prisoner's provocative smile, the officer suddenly punched him hard in the stomach. But the man did not fall. Instead, he began to vomit violently. Then he pulled a long ribbon from his mouth, and at the end of it hung a medal, the highest honor in Germany. The officer angrily demanded to know where the medal had come from. Suddenly, an alarm rang out, startling all the soldiers. They tried to find the pocket watch, only to realize that the sound was coming from behind the prisoner. The officer was puzzled. The adjutant reached out to grab it, but the man suddenly jumped into a well. When the adjutant went to check inside the well, a hand suddenly stretched up from the bottom. The man shouted for him to pull him up. The adjutant felt he had been tricked. Believing the prisoner was no longer a threat, the soldiers lowered their guard. They treated him like a clown and burst into laughter, unaware that everything was part of a grand plan. Sensing that the soldiers had relaxed, the prisoner continued his act, exaggerating his ridiculous movements even more. But the next second, he suddenly turned and ran. The officer immediately ordered the soldiers to chase him. When they reached the gate, they saw the prisoner running while carrying a wooden bucket. The soldiers kept chasing him while laughing, once again letting their guard down. The moment the bucket hit the ground, the prisoner vanished into thin air. The soldiers panicked and searched everywhere but could not find the slightest trace of him. Just then, a cat meowed nearby. They turned around and realized it was yet another prank by the prisoner. The soldiers laughed loudly and mocked his absurd joke. However, the officer began to realize that the prisoner was no ordinary man. To force him to surrender, the officer took a girl hostage. Seeing that the girl was in danger, the prisoner pretended to give himself up. But the next second, the officer froze in place as the prisoner made an unexpected move. All the soldiers rushed forward. They realized that the girl they had just taken hostage had disappeared. The officer hurriedly ordered the troops to go on maximum alert, but it was already too late. In an instant, a rain of bullets poured down on them, leaving only one survivor. He looked in horror at the bodies scattered across the ground. Yet the prisoner who had seemingly died slowly stood up again and raised his hand.